Dr. Nakouzi received his medical degree from the La Sapienza University in Rome, Italy, followed by a 3-year fellowship in oncology. He earned his degree in homeopathic medicine from the Homeopatia Universale School of Homotoxicology that was also in Rome. Dr. Nakouzi completed his U.S. residency in the Yale University Program of Internal Medicine at Bridgeport Hospital, where he served as chief resident. He's a member of the American Medical Association, the American College of Physicians, American Society of Internal Medicine, and the Connecticut State Medical Society. And Dr. Nakouzi has a number of areas of expertise that include cancer, arthritis, and the list just goes on and on and on. I'd like you to do me a favor, please, and welcome Dr. Nakouzi to Albany, Georgia. It's such a pleasure to have you, Dr. Nakouzi. And you're welcome to use the whiteboard. I've tested all of them. And this is the one that they claim works. So we'll see how that goes. Let's make sure. Oh, look at that. It actually does right. Let's make sure we can hear you.
Pronto, pronto. Pronto, pronto. Testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing. Pronto, 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 pronto. Good.
You can erase anything you want, and you can handle anything you like.
So I lost my little metals that go here. They might flip upward. Okay. I am very happy to be here. It's my pleasure to see people improve their health. That's why we are here. I just want to thank a person in particular who allowed this event to happen. And we will have another event in Albany on Sunday at 6 p.m. We have another event tomorrow at the hospital in Atlanta, Georgia called Atlanta Medical Center.
That's right.
And it will be from 2 to 4:30 p.m. That's a university hospital. And then we are going to have more events throughout the country, and hopefully we can take it also outside the United States to other countries. I have been already an international speaker. I have done other programs in the past in different countries. So this is, for me, this is routine. But what is unusual in this presentation is what we are going to speak about. This has been for the first time to this level, okay? So we're going to speak about cancer. Now, in the little time that I have, of course, I cannot tell you everything about cancer, but I can tell you enough information that will be helpful to you so that you can make a dent toward helping yourself get a better health. What is cancer? Cancer is an abnormality in the body that happens when the balance between the different components of the body is lost. What are these components that we are speaking about? These are the elements of the periodic chart of the elements. Anybody knows what the periodic chart of the elements is?
I've seen it because my son had to learn it.
Exactly. Can you describe what it is?
It had like H2O, a very simple one, and down to the bottom it has a number, a very small number.
Mm-hmm.
On the side, I think, but we had to learn that.
Yes. Essentially, it's a table, vertical and horizontal lines, and it has the different elements that exist in this universe. In the material universe that we live in, it starts with hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, etc., etc. And it goes on and on. What is the last item in this? Is item number 106. They didn't have a name for it, so they put it as number 106. From 100 above, they named the element instead of carbon, nitrogen. They ran out of names. Toward the 80s and the 90s, they were naming them with the name of the scientist who discovered them. Like Einstein, they would say Einsteinum. Fermi, Fermium, the Italian scientist Fermi. But now they ran out of names, so they are calling them 101, 102, and 106. Now, when the elements that compose the body are out of proportion, that can lead to abnormality. Not cancer yet, but some kind of abnormality. If the abnormality is too much, then we are on the road to cancer. So for example, let's make it very simple so everybody can understand. Let's say we have hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. We want one of this, three of this, 5, 10, and 6. If we have this balance, we're in good shape. We're functioning normally. The first change happens, all these normals are correct, all these numbers are correct, except this one we have now 0. Same. This is abnormal, because we have one element that is missing. It's not good. Because if this element is missing, and maybe it's needed to combine with this one, this molecule means the combination of two elements, is not an element, it's two elements. So let's say a man and a woman make a couple. So in the couple there are two elements. So the molecule has two elements in it. Then the hydrogen lithium element in the body is not present. Okay? So that's a problem. But the body still can function 80-90%. But let us go a little bit further in this abnormality. We have none of this, but instead of the lithium, we have only 3 instead of 5. The rest is equal. This is a little bit more abnormal now. Let us say that we keep going, and we have none of this, we have 3 of this, and this 10 drops to 2. We have cancer here. So this is abnormal, this is abnormal, this is mild abnormalities, this is severe abnormality. This is to give you an example how things in the body can start to go out of control. Right? Now, let us speak a little bit about, by the way, the name that has been given to these abnormalities in the DNA. Anybody knows? How many people know what the DNA is? Okay, few people. All right. The DNA is a double filament that run one in one direction and the other in the opposite direction. So if this one filament is coming down here, it's coming down, the other one is going up. One is going up, one is coming down. These two filaments that compose the DNA, they form by looping themselves for many, many times to fit in a small space. It's like having a 1 mile tiny filament, and you keep going around and around to fit it in a small box. That's how the DNA fits in our cells. Okay? How many people here in the audience do not know what a cell is? Raise your hand. You all know what a cell is? You do? Okay, that's good. So I don't have to define it. Okay. All right, now let us speak about the frequencies and the charges. This is an interesting topic because, man, this thing dries out. You have to erase it right away. Okay. Frequency and charge. Very important concept. You probably heard about a wave or a vibration, a wave. So this is a wave. There is a certain frequency, correct? From here, it starts, goes down, and it ends here. Then it starts another cycle. And another cycle. So between this point and this point, it goes one time. So you take 1 kilometer, a mile is about 1.6 kilometers. 1 mile is about 1.6 kilometers. So 1 kilometer, how many times this wave is going in this kilometer will be the frequency. It can go 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000,000 times, etc. This point from here to here, which is the height of the wave, is called amplitude. In fact, here we have somewhere an amplifier. Where did you put the amplifier? Oh, here it is. So this is the amplifier, which means it raises the volume of the sound. And the volume is the amplitude. Okay? So amplifier, amplitude. Then we have what is called the phase. What is the phase? You could start the same wave, but instead of starting here, you shift it a little bit. So it becomes like this. Correct? What's the difference between this and this? They are exactly the same, but they have a different phase. Has been pushed. So this in dotted one is the phase. If we want to increase the volume, we go higher. But we have to cross in the same point. This way we maintain the frequency, we have a higher amplitude. If we need to have a frequency increased, then if we had a red one, you see this red one here? It's exactly double the frequency because it crosses twice between this point and this point, whereas the blue one crosses only once. Makes one cycle, the other makes 2 cycles. So the red one has double the frequency. In our body, every single element in the table of the elements or periodic chart has its own frequency. The hydrogen has the hydrogen frequency. The helium has the helium frequency. The beryllium has beryllium frequency. It was created this way. It was meant to be this way. God is a God of order, correct? Everything is in its place. There is no confusion. Once you detect that frequency, you could be 100% sure if this is the frequency of carbon, this is carbon. In a black box, you can detect by frequency. So frequency is very important. And the charge. For example, let us say we have, I can get rid of this. the charge. Let us say we have sodium. It's called Na because in Latin it's natrium. The sodium in Latin is natrium. So they put the first two letters, Na. Sodium, every time you see sodium, you see here a plus. Means it has a positive charge. Na plus. The sodium, by definition, is charged positively. Let's go to the chloride. It's charged negatively. What happened between a positive charge and a negative charge? They attract. The positive needs a negative charge. When they attract, they bind together, and now they are no more one element, they become two elements. This two element is called a salt. Na plus Cl minus. Actually, this is Cl. Because in Latin there is no H. H is in English. Chloride. So Na plus Cl minus is the table salt that we put in the salad. What is the charge of the salt, the table salt? You add the charges. Plus charge, add to it the minus charge, equal what? Equal minus? Plus? No.
Neutral.
Neutral, zero. Because one positive annuls the negative. The way to think about it is you have, here you have 0. You go up one step, you are on the first step. You come down one step. What step you are? You are at step 0. You go up with the sodium, you come down with the chloride. You are back to step 0. Correct? Now, everything in the body, in the human body, has a charge and a frequency. When you put multiple elements together, you form a compound. When you put multiple compounds together, you form a molecule. When you put several molecules together, you form a macro molecule. It means a giant molecule. When you put several giant molecules together, you form a structure. When you put too many structures together, you form an organelle. When you put too many organelles together, you form a cell. When you put too many cells together, you form a tissue. When you put too many tissues together, you form an organ. When you put too many organs together, you form a system. And when you put too many systems together, you form a human being. So the human being is a rather complex. See, we sit here, we laugh, we speak, but we really don't even think about what our intestine is doing now, or our heart, or our lungs. But zillions of reactions are going on in our body. Thanks to our good Creator, these things are on autopilot. A person can be completely demented, but his heart is still pumping. Not because he's demented, the heart says, I am waiting until you give me order what to do. Doesn't need any order. It's on autopilot. It's amazing, isn't it? So this is the charge and the frequency. If any problem happens with the charge or the frequency, that's the starting point toward an imbalance. Imbalance continues, becomes abnormality. Abnormality continues, becomes a precancerous state. Precancerous state continues, becomes cancer. Cancer continues, becomes stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, terminal, and is done. Because the person is not correcting the problem that has started this condition. What is the problem? Is an abnormality in the composition of